Ever since puberty, when my nose took off, it really bothered me. I would always be thinking, why did I have to get this nose that was so out of proportion with the rest of my face? And whenever I would look in the mirror to see my profile, I would instantly have to turn away because I felt so embarrassed and disgusted. Any photo that caught an unflattering angle of my nose had to be instantly destroyed. And I remember feeling so sad that this was limiting my life so much and my ability to socialize. So that's when I bit the bullet. I did some research. I found double board certified facial plastic surgeon Dr. Kim. And although he wasn't close to me, his background and credentials far exceeded anyone else.
It was nerve-wracking to go through this process. I had a lot of questions and concerns, but Dr. Kim was very good at listening to me, being honest and straightforward with what he felt he could do for me. And he had realistic expectations, and he wanted to make sure that mine were realistic as well. And when I called him on the phone, he was great at comforting me and making me feel good, knowing that things would work out in the end regardless, because they would be better than what I had now. Even if there were some risks involved, my nose would still be much more appealing than it was.
You know, I think there's probably 70% chance that we're going to get a good result, and maybe 25-30% chance that you will have a slight polybeak. I think the degree of the polybeak, if that happens, will be very subtle, and I think you'd still be off. You would still come off in the win column in terms of trading what you have now for what we deliver for you. At some point, it's a leap of faith. You know, it is for every patient. It's for the patient who doesn't ask any questions. It's also for the patient who asks, way more questions than you guys have asked. But at some point, you're going to feel comfortable and just have to sort of trust that things are going to go okay. We can't control everything. I told you that I can't guarantee everything, but I feel good about the prospects of what we discussed based on the techniques I'm planning on using. And, I think that's the best that we can do. I think things are going to go well. I really want you to kind of go in feeling good about things.
And he was so supportive and positive and reassuring when these unusual complications occurred that he hadn't seen in 10 years of his practice. And he showed up at the hospital where I was on a Saturday morning when he was visiting his in-laws, and he took time away from his family to make sure that I was all right and assist in any way he could. And I don't know a lot of surgeons who would go that extra mile, so that really meant a lot to me. And with his expertise, I made a full recovery, and it's been almost 5 weeks, not even 5 weeks yet, and my nose looks absolutely fabulous. When I look in the mirror and see my profile, I just start beaming with happiness. I cannot stop smiling. And my confidence is so much higher, and I mean, it just looks like the nose I should have been born with. It complements my face so well, and it even brings out these features that I never even used to notice, like my cheekbones. I feel like I've got a new lease on life, and I know that my social life is really going to blossom, because instead of feeling ashamed about my nose, I can actually feel proud of it. And to prove how my social life is already going in the right direction, I just recently attended an event that Dr. Kim went to showcase my nose, because we are all just so thrilled and happy with the results. It's just such an exciting feeling, and I know that I wouldn't have been able to speak in public in front of all those people. I have a real phobia in front of speaking in front of people, but again, that higher confidence that I have now is allowing me to do so much more with my life.
I like to think that I love all my patients, but sometimes you really love your patients. Diana came in the office, how long ago now? Like 4 or 5 months ago?
2 months ago, I think.
Only 2 months ago? Diana's a really smart girl who did all her homework. She's one of these patients who knew everything about rhinoplasty before she came in. And she put me through the ringer. She was measuring noses on my website, asking if I could get a 1.5 millimeter reduction and projection, and she was using all the right terminology, and I was like, oh my god. So, and Diana's mom was also right there with Diana in the knowledge base. So we went through a lot. And what can I say? We just hit a home run with Diana. Diana is so far from finishing cooking. She's only a couple months out of surgery, not even 2 months. I hate to use this term, but I'm going to say it. She had kind of a bottom heavy nose. The nose was pointed down. It was wide. It was much more prominent below than above. So we were able to angle it up a little bit. We were able to make the profile a little more slender. And this is still, you know, Diane's probably only 60% done in terms of the rest of the response. I'm just so happy with how everything turned out. Her mother and her had been such a pleasure. And she was a no-brainer for who I wanted to come in and have this makeover. She just looks like a movie star right now. I'm just like so happy.
He was the guy that surgeons were giving their cut piece for the revision rhinoplasty. So I thought, that's the one I want to go to. I want to go to someone who is dealing with really complicated cases and no one else can solve. So I was so thankful I chose him and with his structural, conservative approach. I feel like, you know, this is going to be the thing for the rest of my life. And I was so And as a bonus, by correcting my extreme deviated septum, I could not only breathe out of my left nostril, but the quality of my singing voice has improved with the airflow, and I can't stop singing now. I'm just so enthralled with this new voice that I have. So by sharing this unsolicited review, that's my way of repaying Dr. Kim for changing my life forever.